Back in the zone, Fox's medical drama, Doc, has become the network's most watched debut in 5 years. The series was renewed for a season 2. It's about a doctor recovering from a traumatic brain injury, and it just so happens that Maryland has its own doctor who also survived a devastating brain injury. We're here with Dr. Eugene Rocky Rocksmith to hear his story, learn more about the challenges faced by TBI survivors and how the Brain Injury Association of Maryland can help out. Is Brain Injury Awareness Month. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Sure. Tell me about your story. What happened? You were 24 years old?
So I was 24. I was an officer in the Air Force, and I was on my way to work one day, and next thing I knew, 2.5 weeks later, I woke up in the hospital. I had no idea what happened.
Wow.
I probably lost at least a month of my life.
So how did it happen?
I was on my way to work, and at a stop sign where I normally stop and turned right onto a country highway, I didn't stop. I went straight through it, and I got broadsided by a truck. And
that, I mean, as traumatic as that was, changed your entire career trajectory.
Changed everything.
Yeah, what happened after that?
Well, so I was originally an officer in the Air Force. I worked in the Space Command. I wanted to become an astronaut. After the accident, I told myself, you know, if I recover, I have to become a physician, and I have to work with people who had brain injuries and help them recover. And
that's what you've dedicated your entire life to doing.
Yeah.
What is something that would surprise people to learn? You know, sometimes we think about TBIs when it comes to concussions or sports or these types of accidents. What would surprise people to learn when it comes to recovery?
Well, when it comes to recovery, it's not like having a broken arm where, you know, after 6 weeks you should be okay, you can come out of the cast. A brain injury, recovery from brain injury is a very long process. It can take up to 5 years or more to make the greatest amount of recovery, and you probably will not recover 100%. Most people are left with some sort of deficit, and it's just something you have to learn to live with, and you have to learn to overcome, and you have to also learn how to compensate for your deficits so you can continue to live your life.
There is help available, especially here in Maryland. Talk about that a little bit. What can people do?
So there's the Brain Injury Association of Maryland that is dedicated to helping brain injury survivors, and these are people after they've gone through all their rehabilitation, through their acute care hospitalization and rehabilitation. But then prior to that, there's acute rehabilitation, which is where I practice at the University of Maryland Rehab Hospital. And I work on an acute brain injury unit where we specialize in caring for people who've had the range of brain injuries, from mild brain injuries all the way through severe, profound brain injuries. And we take care of the whole range of brain injury patients.
I mean, how incredible is it that you suffered something like this and you dedicated your life to doing it, and the success stories that you see? Talk to me about some of those.
You know, it's very nice to know that I'm able to give back based on my experience, which is the whole reason I went into medicine, so I could help other brain injury survivors. You know, thank God I was able to survive and achieve something in my life, and what I've achieved is now allowing me to give other people help in recovering from their brain injuries.
How important
so it's very rewarding.
How important is a support system?
Having a support system is extremely important. I was very lucky because I had my parents. They flew out 12 hours after I had my injury. They were with me the entire time. My father had to go back to work in New Jersey, but my mom stayed with me the whole time. But having a very secure support system is vital.
Yeah.
I have so many patients who are in the hospital where I work in Baltimore that really don't have visitors, they don't have friends or family that pay attention to them, and they just kind of languish in the room. They're kind of lost. Luckily for me, I had my family, I had my friends, and they could all help reconnect me back to reality.
And you're helping so many others do that now on the other side.
Yeah,
Dr.
Nice.
Rocky, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to walk over here and join